I recently saw Top Gun Maverick and was surprised by just how much I enjoyed it. Longtime viewers of my channel know that I'm a pretty big fan of the 1986 original, but even I must admit that out of all the classic and well-regarded 80s movies, it probably ranks somewhere near the bottom. I gave it a rewatch to prepare for the new movie, and while I still enjoy it and the flight scenes still hold up as being very impressive, there isn't really too much going for it. One could say it isn't very deserving of a legacy sequel after all these years. However, I remember being impressed by the trailer when it dropped, and now, 3 years after that, it's finally here. I feel like this movie was supposed to come out forever ago, but I knew I had to go see it. So the thing that surprised me the most about this new movie is simply just how good it is. I have to say that this movie is so good, it's as if it erases the original. It really stands out as its own thing while giving the appropriate amount of homage to the original. The continuation of the returning characters' lives seems very realistic and makes sense to the plot. Granted, Maverick and Iceman are really the only main characters to return, but I feel like that makes perfect sense. Maverick's love interest from the first movie isn't around anymore, but honestly, they didn't know each other very long in the first place, and it's been over 30 years. It would just be too easy to have them still be together. A major returning character in this movie is Goose's son from the first film. He's following his father's footsteps under the call sign Rooster. He does a great job, and I enjoyed his dynamic with Maverick. Speaking of, Tom Cruise does a great job as Maverick. He really pulled off bringing back this character in a way that just feels right. You can tell he has learned lessons from the first movie and he's grown up, but there's just enough of that old personality in there that lets you know he's the same character from before. This movie takes what is pretty much a slightly above average 80s film for the boys and adds extra depth and seriousness to bring it to a new age. It takes itself seriously, like the films themselves have grown up, just as the original audience has. You won't find any weird locker room scenes or funny quotes here. Instead, you'll get high stakes and real life drama. Speaking of real life, I must commend the filmmaking. All the planes for this movie are really flying, the actors are in the air, there isn't any stock footage or CGI, and it really shows. The cinematography is fantastic. The opening of this movie is a perfect recreation of the original's intro, and it looks just as gorgeous as it was back then. I also have to add that, like the original, the movie also has a great soundtrack. It has a bunch of great music on it while keeping the classic main theme and, of course, Danger Zone. Those are 2 tracks you simply needed to have in this movie, and it delivered. Top Gun Maverick takes all the good from the original and expands on it, while cutting out all of the bad. It continues to tell Maverick's story in a way that makes sense and is true to the character, and manages to impress with great cinematography and acting that will make this movie appeal to both fans of the original and new viewers alike. It's not simply just another throwback cash grab. It was made by people who are passionate about continuing the story, and it really shows. I would be happy to add this movie to my collection. Go see Top Gun Maverick. It's more than just nostalgia.